What's up, guys? It's Duke back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 20 tip, I'm back with another episode of Beat the Blitz, where we go over the best tips, money plays, and pass blocking schemes to counter the heavy blitz meta you guys see in Madden 20. So if you're playing online and you're one of those guys who struggles when the defense brings a heavy OP blitz at you, this is definitely the video for you. You don't want to miss out, because not only are we going to be showing you guys some great routes and a great money play to kill the blitz, but I'm actually going to show you guys in this video a very underlooked, under the radar blocking scheme from under center that not too many people know about or know how to utilize, that completely stonewalls the blitz and will give you guys all day to pass the ball. Not only that, but if you guys have an escape artist quarterback, this same blocking scheme I'm going to show you at the same time even allows you to get consistent chop blocks to roll out if you want to, but you can also just stand tall in that pocket if you wish. So we're going to be in the Raiders playbook, and the blocking scheme I'm going to show you works from a lot of formations. I want to look at strong H wing for a few reasons. First of all, because this is such a good running formation and people know it for running the ball, really, you're automatically eliminating a lot of the better blitzes in the game, like Big Dime, because no matter if it's 3rd and 10 or what, if you run Big Dime or a formation like that and we see it, we can just run the ball and maybe get a touchdown. So you limit the defense to, really good run-dies that they can blitz out of, like maybe 3-4 odd. That's very common. So it gives you a much better idea of what you have to deal with and also eliminates the exotic stuff. Also, it has some very good stock passing plays, so if you don't have any like route chems, you don't necessarily need them. So I'm going to look at F trail. We're going to start with 3-4 odd. We're going to break down how to attack all the common things you'll see from it blitzing wise. Let's start with edge blitz. Even though this is a run D, the way people run it, they do blitz 7 and it can get really good pressure, so I do want to cover that. Now, before I get too far into this video, I do want to remind you guys to please hit the subscribe button in the corner of the video. It really does help us out a lot. We've been growing a lot lately. The support has been unreal, and I really do appreciate it. If you guys are really rocking with me, smash that like button, man. Let's try to get a couple hundred likes right off the bat, right off rip, 24 hours. And also turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of our great videos. So, y'all know the edge blitz setup a lot of people utilize is just the blitz 7, user this safety, right? Not only is it a good run D, but it does get pressure on the pass. Now, let's just talk about the routes on this play before we get into what I want to show, which is the blocking scheme and how to attack the blitz. This fullback route is money. It gets open against man coverage, and if they're in zone, there's no really zone that basically guards it, so you have to user it. And if you don't have a good fullback to, catch the ball, you can always put in a running back or tight end here. Now, this corner route to the tight end, it will beat man coverage, but it kind of is a bit later. It's a bit deeper breaking corner route, so that's good for a few reasons. One, it gets over cloud flats behind them every time easily, which you'll see later in the video. And it's just really good for zone. But if you're going up against man coverage and it's man, you might want to just, if you have tight end apprentice, hot route your tight end on that tight end apprentice corner route, because that's quicker breaking for man blitzes, but it still can work against man coverage pretty well. Then this post route. This post route is basically unguardable against the blitz because, it beats man in zone regardless of the zone. You have to use that route too. Especially if you have post flag elite, I highly recommend having a receiver with post flag elite and a tight end with post flag elite. That definitely takes offenses that you're going to pass the ball from a decent amount this year to the next level, in my opinion. Now, blocking wise from this formation, guys, there's a lot of ways to block the blitz, but what I want to look at is a motion block scheme, where we block the running back and then we motion this outside tight end over. Same way we actually do on dives. So this kind of takes the tail away from running dive or passing the ball, and then block him. Now, there's a little subtlety here, but when you motion him over, guys, notice how he no longer is lined up with his hand in the dirt like a tight end or lineman. He's not lined up anymore like that. And he definitely does block better this way, guys. I've noticed that. Now, another thing this does is it tells us, obviously we're already thinking they're playing man because this looks like edge blitz, which we know is man. But when we motion this guy over and see that outside corner follow with him in motion, then really we do know it's man. For sure. Which, that actually does a few things here. First of all, when we send this guy over in motion and block him, this corner that follows, he's going to be in coverage now. So sometimes he'll double team the receiver. Sometimes he'll go in the middle of the field. But what really happens here is this fullback's unguarded for sure, most likely. So you guys can see here, That's a very easy read. They're going to have to manly guard that. Now, guys, if you know they're in man coverage, and you don't want that guy to basically be on the corner to follow the tight end on the left, because you guys can see he kind of can free roam now. So that's not necessarily the best thing for us, because while it does always leave this fullback unguarded, now he essentially double teams the post. So personally, guys, if I notice that they're in man coverage, I'm not going to do that motion. I save that motion for zone. So if I see that they're in man like they are here, whether it's edge, blitz, pinch buck, whatever, what I'm most likely to do is just block the fullback and the tight end and just not use any motion. Now, guys, that guy's going to stay over there, so I always have, as you guys can see there, that post route single guarded, and that is unguardable. You have to use it. If they press you, you'll get a good release, and even if they don't press you, you'll still get a good release. It doesn't really make a difference, and he'll always basically get inside that corner, and you just throw a bullet pass on the break, click on, and get this dive catch animation. You can do this every single time, guys. The way you do this is you just immediately click onto the receiver, and if you're on Xbox, you press the Y button. If you're on PlayStation, you press triangle, and it will get you this crazy glitchy dive catch animation that's basically unguardable. Especially if you're post flag elite, this guy will never drop the ball. He'll catch it every time. It's, like I said, it truly is like unguardable when you do this. All right, guys, I want to show this tight end corner route now. So there's a few things to mention this about man coverage when you're running this tight end corner route. First of all, if you have a post flag elite tight end, it pretty much will always get crazy separation. But if you don't, this corner route does break a little bit deeper, so it doesn't always get absurd separation. Now, it got really, really good separation there. I think Lawrence just shed it, so I couldn't get the ball off, but it got good separation there, and that's what we like to see. The thing is, it doesn't always get that crazy separation if you don't have a post-flag elite tight end, which is why I do prefer to have one. Now, let's see if we can get it again here. We did get good separation again there, so that's what we're looking to see. The thing is, like I said, post-flag elite is really big this year. It takes your corner routes and posts to that next level to where you always know they'll get open. Now, if you just have a regular tight end like this, the tight end apprentice hot route on the corner route is a bit more effective because it cuts quicker, but still it worked pretty good here. Now, guys, if you don't have a good tight end, you don't have someone that meets any thresholds, you don't have, any sort of abilities, and your corner route is just being a little bit too inconsistent against man coverage, what you can do is just put them on a smart routed out route. Because one of the best things about smart routed out routes this year, guys, is it doesn't matter basically your tight end, who he is, what his stats are, nothing, or who's even guarding him. It doesn't matter. He'll get really good separation on that smart routed out route. So that's something you guys can rely on no matter who your tight end is. So maybe if you don't have the best tight end for the corner route and they're playing man coverage, just do a smart routed out. You guys can see that another thing about this play is the fullback, he even beats corners on the angle route. And then obviously we have the post here. That's the dive catch every time. So, you have a lot of stuff in your back pocket you can pull out to beat the blitz route-wise from this play. You have 3 routes that attack the blitz really, really well. And there's really not, any just easy way to take them all away at all. All right, now that you guys see that, I want to move on to zone blitzing. So one thing we have yet to even cover that I did mention earlier is this scheme actually allows you to roll out and get chop block animations pretty much every time. And this is when the corner route to the tight end really does come in handy because it'll get over the top of soft squats, clouds, whatever. So we can do the same blocking scheme. And guys, by the way, anytime it's zone, I definitely do recommend motioning this guy over because I feel like even though the blocking's fine, when you don't motion him, the motion takes it over the top. But what you guys are going to see is that we'll always basically chop this guy on the right, therefore we can just roll out. Now, I got an on-the-run inaccurate throw just because Watson, they didn't give him the dead eye this year, the dashing. Probably should have. I don't really know why they didn't. But, yeah, unfortunate. But we'll do it again just so you guys can see that you will always get that guy on the right side of the screen. The running back will always block him and allow you to roll out. As you can see, when you roll out, we got an accurate throw this time, touchdown, means that corner will eventually start to play you and leave the tight end, which is why I do recommend having the tight end side of the formation on the wide side for this corner route. So now, We haven't really even gotten to this yet, but now you can see if you have an escape artist, especially if you have dashing, you can put the rollout game to good use, just like this as well. So you can roll out, stand in the pocket. I mean, yeah, you guys got a lot in your arsenal from this play and with this blocking scheme I'm showing you guys. Now, another thing, this post route, it's unguardable from from zone 2. You can throw it quick on, get that animation, and they're not going to be able to stop it. Just wide triangle, you're going to get the dive catch every time. Really is unguardable from zone. This is cover 2. I will show you what happens if they're in like a cover 4, cover 3 in a second here. But I do want to show the fullback also. The fullback, again, this has to be user 2. So you guys got a lot of problems if you're on defense because you have to use the post, you have to use the fullback, and then also you have the tight end that I can roll out and throw every single time too. Now, the other thing I really like about this play is even though there's only 3 routes, they're spaced out beautifully because I have the corner route that's going to attack the right sideline that I can hit on the rollout. I have the fullback over the short middle of the field coming out of the backfield, and then on the left I have the post that's running a bit more deep over the middle. You guys can see the way these routes are spread out, the user cannot bait us between these 3 routes. It's not possible. Now I do want to switch up to a cover 4. I do want to show you guys that even if they're in a cover 4, you can still throw the post route, you can still throw the fullback route, and you can still throw the corner route. A cloud, flat, or soft squat like we did the first time, cover 2 based, or deep zone based like cover 4. It doesn't matter if it's cover 4, a cover 3, or even an inverted deep zone. Any sort of deep zone, all these routes still get open. To see the fullback, again, that's obviously going to have to be user. If they don't user that, that's every time. That's normally my first read because it's the quickest read. And when you're dealing with the blitz, you always want to make your reads go with the quickest reads first. So if it's open, you can hit it and not get sacked. It is what it is. But you guys can see, most of the time you'll have time to click on, throw that post, get that wide catch, triangle catch, that dive catch animation. It's unguardable. It doesn't matter if they have deep zones out there, if they have clouds, soft squats, inside quarters, deep halves, inside thirds. It doesn't matter what type of zone you have out there. I could do this every single time if you do not user it. Same time, you have to user this guy out of the backfield, and I can still roll out and throw that corner every time because as you guys are going to notice, that guy is going to get chopped on the right side of the screen from this type of blitzing defense every single time. As you guys can see, this time he gets a much better throw. Click on get that dive catch animation. It's going to be a catch every time, especially if you have post flag elite guys. They're never going to be able to stop that. Now, if you don't have post flag elite, I will say sometimes the receivers drop or tight ends drop those dive catch animations in traffic. But if you have post flag elite, they never do. Again, look, cut every time, easy throw. You definitely do want a quarterback with escape artists and dashing dead eyes so you can be reliable on those types of throws. That's another thing I want to mention. The last thing I want to mention, guys, is that you also, if they're blitzing you like this out of man or deep zones or whatever, and it's not really cover 2, you can just throw quickly to the tight end on the break on the corner route against these deep zones, and, they're not going to react. They just see here, just throw it just like that. You don't even have to roll out. But, again, to do that, you'll have to make sure they're not user guarding that. So, basically, my reads on this play before we end the video are as follows. So, first thing I always do is I read the fullback. If they do not guard the fullback, I'll throw that every time. Now, if they do guard the fullback, that means they're going to have to come up to the right side of the field, which means this left side post on the back side, that's wide open every play. So, that's my second read, is if they guard the tight end, I'm sorry, not the tight end, but the fullback out of the backfield, then I go to the post. Now, if they go to the post right off the rip, I already know I can go to my fullback, but my last read is the corner route. Because the corner route is going to get open a second later than the others. Now, if I roll out, it's pretty much my primary read, but standing in the pocket, it's probably going to be my last read. Now, guys, I will take a look at the defense pre-snap to see what I most likely think is going to be open. I do use, or like to use identifier, so I can always see where the user is, because that just helps me process things post-snap like a split second faster. And especially, guys, with the blitz this year, any time you can create for yourself, to buy for yourself is important. So if you guys do have the ability to get identifier, I would recommend it with any offense this year no matter what, because whether you're running or passing the ball, your play calling and like reads definitely can be affected and definitely improved by knowing where the user is at all times, and that just makes it easier on yourself. So I hope you guys like this play. Like I said, not only is this one of my favorite plays, period, because it has great setups, stock routes, but it's one of my favorite blitz beaters because these routes just space out perfectly against the blitz, and then with this blocking scheme I've shown you in the video, it makes the protection absolutely perfect.